back in the 70s, as far as reading books and whatnot, there was a particular brand of Iraqi dates. And the person who had written the English copy for the box wasn't very good with English. So he wrote, eat them and make them eat your friends. Huh? You didn't get the buildup. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much. We're the Torah portion for this Shabbos is Chaye Sarah. Good Shabbos. And this is known as putting papers in different books. I got it. It's really kind of exciting. It talks about how the first family of Judaism, it's not even known as Judaism yet, is starting to spread out and multiply. Isaac is not the main focus of the Torah portion. I'll talk about it later, but he is obviously an important character. So, as soon as I locate a prayer book, we can get started. First, we'll light the candles. All right, ladies, would you care to light the candles? We'll please rise. Oh. What am I doing? You push the trigger forward and then pull the switch. Say it. We wave our hands over the candles, we cover our eyes, bringing Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu, le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'mitzvotav. Vitzivanu, Vitzivanu, lahadlik ner. Vitzivanu, Vitzivanu, adlik ner. Vitzivanu, Vitzivanu, adlik ner. Shel Shabbat. Amen. Please be seated. We turn now to page 13. With the Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei HaElokim, Mimelech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaElokim. Mimelech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continuing now, let's do the one at the bottom of page 13. We haven't done it in a while. It is based on a poem. It is a poem by Chaim Nachman Bialik, who was among the very, very first Hebrew poets. He started out writing in Yiddish, as many of them did, and then he switched to writing in Hebrew. And what is significant about him is that he was the first poet to translate Lord Byron into Hebrew. That must have been quite a thing. And the truth is, people don't know this, but Lord Byron collaborated with a Jewish musician and came out with a book called Hebrew Melodies. Okay?
Lord Byron?
The Lord Byron.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll do it first in the English. And the English. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come, let us welcome Shabbat, the true Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her God's angels of peace and of rest. Come now, dear Queen, with us abide. Come now, Shabbat our bride. Shalom Aleichem, angels of peace. It's kind of nice. Let's move on now to page 15. Haven't done this one for a while. The first of the 6 Psalms alluding to the 6 days of creation. And then after completing his construction of the universe and all the accoutrements, God kicked back in his heavenly hammock with a brewski and enjoyed Shabbat. Did God go to temple on the very first Shabbat?
No, he rested.
He rested. See? Okay. Back in Europe, they had the shamus's job was to be the shul klopper. He had a little hammer, and the folks all had shutters. I don't know if they closed them all the time or only in the winter, but he would go around to the different Jewish homes and clop with the hammer on the shutters, the shul klopper. And that's because he wanted to tell people it's time to go to shul. I'm sure they knew, but even so. Okay? I just have to do one thing, Steve. Okay, I'm not going to give you a big smush. I'm just going to hold this down. So thank you. The smush can come later. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Your mother taught you well.
About what? Putting a guy's collar down? It's just, some things just bother you. Okay. It's not a big deal.
I didn't even see it.
I know. Okay. As a matter of fact, the lapels, the notches in the lapels, I personally believe that they were put there by a clever Jewish tailor many, many, many years ago, so that if, God forbid, you had to do Kriya, you had to cut the lapels, you were all set.
Is that what they did? I thought my day they put a black ribbon on,
Yes,
that's what they said.
yes. When my father passed, let him rest in peace, I went to the chapel, obviously, and one of the macharim of the shul said to me, David, he says, David, you have to cut your clothes. I said, I'm not going to cut my clothes. He says, your father was Orthodox. I said, my father was Orthodox, and he accepted that I'm conservative. So I also got the ribbon. Bizmirot nari alo, Kiel gadol Adonai, Umelech gadol, al kol Elohim. Let's read in the English. Take it from 3 stanzas from the bottom. I'll do the leader part. You can do the congregational part, because you're the congregation. Harden not your heart in the way of your ancestors who tried and tested me in the wilderness, even though they had witnessed my miracles. 40 years of contending with that generation led me to say, they are wayward, they care not for my ways. In indignation, therefore, did I vow, never would they reach my land, the land of peace, the land of rest. 40 שנה כות בדור, ואומר עם טועה לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי ויפי, אם יבואון אל מלכתי.
It's not the land of peace.
No, it's not the land of peace. Well, Israel proper is, well, what can I say? 7 things flying back and forth. Thank you to our friend Leland. We are dedicating this service for Shalom al Yisrael, peace for Israel, peace for everyone who lives in that area. Okay, continuing now. Page 18. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash, ki niflaot asa, hoshia lo yamino uzroa kadsho. Reading silently. And the last 2 lines. L'fnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamim b'meisharim. All right, we'll turn now to the Lecha Dodi, page 21. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Keep and remember, but were uttered as one, by our Creator beyond comparison. Adonai is one, His name is one, reflected in glory, in fame and in praise. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Come, let us read Shabbat, Queen sublime, fountain of blessings in every clime, anointed and regal since earliest time. In thought she preceded creation 6 days. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Please rise. 22, 4th stanza. We face the door through which the Sabbath Queen will enter. Hoi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha utzala, toch emuneh am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nikabela. Please be seated, page 23. Mizmor shir liyom HaShabbat. Let's take it from your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. That is 4 stanzas from the bottom. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish, all the wicked shall crumble. Together, but me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed as with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the doom of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant. Proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw. And the last 4 lines. Tzadik tamar yifrach ki eretz alvanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva b'shenim b'rananim yeyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai Suri velo avlatabo. All right, we'll put the prayer books aside, and I would like to say something about the Torah portion. As with all the Torah portions in Genesis and Bereshit, it's really, really good. There's a lot of human interest. There's a lot of clashing personalities, but on top of everything, the heroine of this particular episode is Rivka, Rebecca. Rebecca is by far the most dynamic of the matriarchs. She played by the rules, but she still managed to make her feelings known. Okay, so let me just tell you. The Torah portion begins with the death of Sarah. Sarah was a very strong and effective early matriarch. We don't really know very much about what she says because Abraham is a very, very difficult act to be married to. And he, of course, has a lot on his plate. What with starting a religion, starting Judaism, doesn't even have a name in those days. He is called Abraham Avraham HaIvri, Abraham the Hebrew. Now, where did that word Hebrew come from? In Hebrew, Ivri is usually interpreted to mean Aver HaYarden, because the Canaanites who lived on the western side of the Jordan referred to Abraham as the one who came from across the Jordan. That's where the word Hebrew comes from. And at this point, it's really kind of tragic because Abraham had almost sacrificed his son Isaac to this mysterious and demanding God. God is still mysterious and more than a little demanding. But this Torah, and the story goes that after Sarah heard that her husband, her beloved husband, etc., had almost sacrificed their only son, Isaac, she had some sort of a heart attack or something and she died. And Abraham is very upset about this, but he has to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. He has to keep building the religion and getting converts, although, truth to tell, in the text itself, there isn't evidence of God getting a single convert, but we understand that he at least converted the servants of his household, the men servants and the maid servants. Well, Sarah dies at the age of 127, and Abraham is bereft, and he's really in desperate straits. He's living in a different place. He's living in the land of the Hittites, and he's got to find a place to bury his wife. Well, he sets out, he goes down to the village gate, which was not a nightclub in those days. It was the gate of the village, and he sees that sitting there is Ephron the Hittite. And I got to tell you from the get-go, Ephron is a snake oil salesman. He's a phony. He would be perfect selling used cars, but he owns the cave. Abraham wants the cave. And when you're doing that, when you're in desperate straits and you need to purchase some place to bury your wife, you have no choice. So he approaches Ephron the Hittite, and Ephron says to him, my master, see, that's the thing. If they're too unctuous, meaning They're asking, oh, your pardon, sir. I just happen to be sitting here. Sure, I'll sell you my cave. He says, here now, my master. He says to Abraham, what is 400 silver shekels between you and me? That's a lot of green. That's a lot of money, okay? I didn't have a chance to Google it and find out what it was worth hundreds of years ago. But what does Abraham do? And Abraham is no small bones at bargaining himself, but he's in such shock at having lost his wife. Who'd have thought she'd have gone so suddenly? She was only 127. Okay. Well, anyway, it's very sad. So he buys the cave.
Is that the one in Hebron?
Yes, that is indeed. That is probably, I shouldn't be critical, but I usually am, the worst cave, worst location, because you know, Jeff, you're from Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn is the jewel of the 5 boroughs, okay?
The only of the 5.
The only borough of the 5 boroughs. But you know, growing up in the city, you knew walking around, if you came to a bad area, you walked on the well-lit side of the street, you brought your friends with you, you were careful, and you did the 360 from time to time. Just before the guy comes over and clops you on the head and takes your money. All right. So Abraham has to do what he can, and he does get Ma'arat HaMachpelah, the cave of Machpelah, which is easily the most fought over burial place in all of Israel or anywhere else. And if you go there now, see, I went there in the summer of '72 with my strange uncle and my lovely aunt. And my uncle was wearing white shorts, white t-shirt, white socks, white sneakers. Did he stand out or what? Yes, he did. And he kept finding me errands. He says, David, he says, go over to here, take this shekel or whatever it was, go over to that little boy and give him the money. And I had to go into this crowd of folks who didn't look very happy to see me. I was wearing a yarmulke too. I mean, we're talking serious Judaism here. And the kid put on his street face, his I'm so pitiful face, and I gave him the money. That was my encounter with, but I got such a bad vibe off that town. And even now, it takes a lot of Israeli soldiers to keep the peace over there.
Well, there's only certain days they allow Jews into the cave.
Yes, because somebody Muslim is buried there too, I suppose. Who is buried there besides Jews?
Adam and Eve first.
Yes, Adam and Eve, of no particular religion. Okay? And
How big is this cave?
it's really it's like it's a building. Okay? It started out as a cave, but
Well,
now it's
that's
a
a
building.
perfect day.
What was
Jeremy
the-
Hoffa.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Very good. Okay. All right. Yes, it's a building. Okay. What they do in Israel and is they tend to make very elaborate tombs. Okay. Rachel has one. The cave of Machpelah is the other. Rachel never made it. She dies outside the city limits, so to speak, and they bury her. She has her own tomb. And it's very popular, Rachel's tomb, for women who have trouble conceiving.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll go there and they'll run a red ribbon, a bendel, all the way around the building. But is it impressive? It looks a little like a shul. It's got a cloth. It's got like an art cover around the burial area. And the big mitzvah is to pray there. I've never prayed there myself. And the Muslims pray there as well, and that was the terrible tragedy when this highly deluded Jewish fellow, who was also an MD, took a machine gun and mowed down peaceful Muslim worshippers. That's all it takes. It's very sad. Okay, so what's he got to do now? Abraham is very concerned because his son Isaac is living at home. He's possibly in his 30s, which I think would give a different complexion to the whole sacrifice thing. And Abraham chooses, this guy is my hero. I love this guy. Eliezer. Okay, Eliezer means God is my help. He is Abraham's most faithful servant, and he is the one that Abraham says, look, I want you to get together with the boys, get some camels, they were just domesticated this week, and get some gold and silver and oil and perfumes and stuff that girls like, and go back to my hometown, he says, and talk to my brother Bethuel, and see if we can arrange some kind of shidduch for Isaac. Because Isaac apparently he's a nice boy, but he's, I don't know, he has no incentive. That's it.
Nevish.
Yes, yeah, he's a Nebuch, pretty much. Because he's the first Jewish boy to be born into the family business. He didn't have to lift a finger. In 2 minutes, as soon as Abraham should live and be well, as soon as Abraham's gone, who gets the Abraham and son cattle and goat and sheep and cow and perfume business? Yes, yes indeed. Okay, so Eliezer goes, he's riding on the lead camel. They're going to Haran, as it's called, to find a wife for Isaac. And he's really kind of nervous, because you don't want to mess this up. He had already sworn to Abraham. In those days, you put your hand under the person's right thigh if you were going to swear to them. Paul, if you're in the neighborhood of a man's right thigh, what is very close at hand?
Wallet?
Yes, indeed.
A big problem.
Yes, and this is before BVDs. Okay, I just think people should know this. They were very sincere about making their swears.
Happened to me the other night.
Okay, so anyway, don't get ideas, Jeffrey. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Really terrible.
Why the right thigh?
Oh, that's the good thigh. You don't want the left thigh.
Why? What's wrong?
Because right is good and left is bad. I'm a lefty. And this has not been something I could live with comfortably.
Except in politics.
Yes, that's true. I don't mind it then. Okay, so you got it. For example, this tie does not have stripes, and I see I have the only tie in the room. Steve, go get a tie. And if the stripes go the wrong way, that is what the knights in armor called the bar sinister. It was a sign of bastardy. Okay, so they're very particular about left and right. All right, so he goes and he's making a deal with God. And this prayer is so wonderful because he doesn't feel strong enough. He's got a strong faith, but he doesn't feel strong enough to pray to God himself. So he's riding along on the camel, and he says, God of my master Abraham, he says, help my mission to succeed. We're going to have a little deal, says Eliezer. When I come to town and I go to the watering hole, which is the place where all the shepherds go to meet and greet, the first girl who comes out of her home with the jug on the shoulder and offers to water my animals and my men, she's going to be the one that Isaac marries. Well, God delivers. As soon as he hits the watering hole, boom, this beautiful girl comes out, Rebecca. She's gorgeous and she's pumped. You know, you work out every day. Hauling those clay jugs around, really, it's going to do something to your general physiology. Okay, so she says, sir, she says to Eliezer, not only will I water your animals, I will water all the animals that came to town. And she's really quite a character, I gotta say. And he's amazed. He's standing there in wonderment because his prayer was answered so quickly. Only in the Torah, of course. I don't know how it is in real life. Well, she says, and you can come home with me, and my mother's a fabulous cook, and you'll meet everybody in the family, including my brother Lavan. Okay, there's a dark note sounded at that point. What kind of guy is Lavan?
Not good.
Not good. He's also a used car salesman. It's terrible. That town between him and Ephron, they're not doing very well with cars. Okay, he goes to the home, and no, he doesn't go to the home yet, because the door opens again, and out comes running Lavan, because he saw the earrings and the nose ring that Eliezer gave to his sister. And he can smell jewelry from across the street. And he's thinking, I'm going to get close to this Eliezer, and I'm going to filch some of his stuff. Isn't that nice? I don't think I use the word filch very often. Filching. I filch, you filch, we all filch. Okay. Well, Eliezer comes, he has dinner, all of his boys have dinner, and they're all sitting around chewing the fat, so to speak, and they say, oh, have some hospitality. This is our special rack of ribs, Haran style. And he says, no, he says, I must tell my tale. They say, oh, speak, because, storytelling in those days was a big art. and he says, I just want you to know this beautiful girl, I'm just inviting her to come home with me, with my master Abraham and my other master Isaac. Even though Isaac is a little bit of a schlemazel, but we'll leave that go for now. And they say to the girl, this is revolutionary. They say to the girl, do you want to go with this guy? That had never been asked before. It was usually Beulah, pack your stuff, take your passport, you're on your way. They asked her permission. Isn't that nice? And she said, I will. And they go. Now they're coming back. They're going towards Abraham's neighborhood, and they see Isaac is wandering in the fields towards evening. Is he A, davening mincha, doing the afternoon service,
No.
just spazieren, taking a little walkie poo, or looking for opportunities to do mitzvot? The Midrash says he's davening because Abraham invented shacharit, the morning service, Isaac invented mincha, and Jacob invented, here it comes, Ma'ariv, the evening service. What do you think of that, Jeffrey?
I have a question.
Please.
I thought after the sacrifice that Abraham and Isaac didn't speak to each other. They didn't live together.
There is a tradition about that. That the kid's spirit was broken and he really
But in
couldn't
Torah
function
it
properly.
In Torah it says they did live together. Right?
Oh, yes, yes. You see, the Torah is like the bare bones.
Right.
We're the ones who fill in the details. Okay, so if you want to go one way one day, that's fine. If you want to go the other way the
I
next
only
day.
go one.
I guess so. Okay, well, isn't that special? Okay. Well, anyway, Isaac marries Rebekah, and he loves her, and she comforts him after the loss of his mother. And Abraham, because the story is, okay, was Shabbat given yet?
No.
No, it was not. But in this story, another version, there is. That Friday night came, and she's a balabusta. She's cleaning the house and polishing the silverware and getting the candles ready. She's probably dipping the candles because you couldn't get them from China. And the time comes, and the sun is setting, and they go wave, and she waves, and she blesses the candles for the Shabbat that hasn't happened yet. And and Abraham and Isaac are very comforted. Because my story was this: before Rebecca got there, all they're doing is ordering takeout. They got food from Meal Mart. They got the pizza from the pizza place. They're getting Chinese like you wouldn't believe. And the place is a mess. Men don't know how to clean anything. They never throw anything out. But when Rebecca came in and said, what a mess, she cleaned it all up, and it was wonderful. And the peace of Shabbat settled over the household. Abraham is given a new lease on life. He marries Keturah, which means precious perfume. And the commentaries say, it's Hagar. No, it's not. It's Keturah. He's branching out. And we know this because when he saw her, he said, Keturah, I only did that for you, Paul. You hear, Paul? I only did that for you. And he has how many additional sons? 6. And Isaac is really upset because he thinks the boys are going to come along and steal his inheritance. And Abraham says, don't worry, you're the one and only. I'll give these other 6 boys their own inheritance, and they'll be on their way. Okay? But it's really very encouraging when a guy who's about 150 years old gets married for the second time. What is that line? I don't even buy fresh green bananas.
Yeah, right.
That kind of thing. Okay, any questions? I love this Torah portion. This is the best, really. Whether you're buying a tomb or distributing jewelry. All right.
They didn't dig graves in those days?
Yes, they did. They did. But in Israel, in particular, they like a sarcophagus. Really. Once you've been buried in a sarcophagus, you never go back. Okay. And these were special sarcophagi. These sarcophagi were built into the earth, because technically you can't have a mausoleum in Judaism unless there's nothing but earth in the base. Okay. The 2 Jews go to the cemetery, and one of them says, "Look at that mausoleum. Whose mausoleum is that?" He says, "That's Mr. Savitsky. They had a lot of money." And the other one looks and says, "That's living." All right. So here we go.
So all those outside the wall, the east wall in
Yes.
Jerusalem,
Yes.
they have all those graves and everything, the big,
Are
They
they
all-
Jewish or Turkish? 'Cause-
Jewish.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I was gonna ask if those all don't have a bottom.
No, they're built right into the stone. And you're right, they can't have a bottom because you don't seal up the person. You have to have them in contact with the earth. Okay?
Well, there's thousands of graves there.
Well, people die, you can't stop them.
Well, they wanna be close to it. When Mashiach comes, they don't have to dig so far.
That's fine.
That's the story.
That's good. I also understand that if you have the earth from Israel buried with you, and
Yes.
Mashiach is going to make tunnels from, I know tunnels are getting a bad reputation, tunnels to Israel, and you'll zip on through like back in the...
They always sprinkle the envelope of dirt from the Mount of Olives.
Yes, it's amazing, the Mount of Olives. It's not the Valley of Olives by now. Okay. All right, well, that was different. Okay, opening the ark, please. Let's see. Would the lovely Honig family honor us by opening the ark? This may be the first time in the history of the shul that Mickey Mouse and the Miami Dolphins are opening the ark. Thank you, ladies. Okay,
The other day, we had Mickey and Minnie.
Oh, very nice. Okay, I'm sorry I missed it. We bow towards the ark. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Amen. Yeshua, thank you, sir. Close the curtain. Thank you, ladies. Yeshua. Very nice, thank you. Okay, please be seated. An astronaut passed away some time ago. His name was Ken Mattingly, and he was the one who was pulled from a space flight because he had German measles, and this broke his heart. But then a few years later, he was of great service to the Apollo 13 mission, the one that they had to call off because of equipment failure. And towards the end of his life, he finally got a chance to be on a moon mission. He went up to the moon. The other two guys got to walk on the moon. He had to sit in the lander. I do not know why. Isn't that sad? No, but he had a good life. He was 82. And rest in peace. Let's do Light and Darkness on page 28, midway down. Light and darkness, night and day, we marvel at the mystery of stars. Together, moon and sky, sand and sea, we marvel at the mystery of sun. Twilight, high noon, dusk and dawn, though we are mortal, we are creation's crown. Flesh and bone, steel and stone, we dwell in fragile temporary shelters. Grant steadfast love, compassion, grace, sustain us, God, our origin is dust. Majesty, mercy, love endure, we are but little lower than the angels. Resplendent skies, sunset, sunrise, the grandeur of creation lifts our lives. Evening darkness, morning dawn, renew our lives as you renew all time. And we'll continue now on page 30 with the Shema. Cover the eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Uncover the eyes. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Yolam Vaed. In the English, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and on your gates. Continuing now, on page 32, in the middle of the page. Mi chalamocha ha'elim Adonai, mi kamocha Me'adonai ba'kodesh, no ratilot, Osei Felet, Malchut Charovanecha, Bokayam Lifnei Moshe, Zeilianu V'Yamru, Adonai Yimloch V'Olam Moed, V'Nemar, Kifotah Adonai et Yaakov, Ugialo Miad Chazak Mimenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Goal Yisrael. Amen. On page 33, we read the names of the Cholim, the folks who were not well, and wish them refuah shlema, quick and speedy recovery. Wendy Kerrigan, refuah shlema. Eileen Carroll, refuah shlema. Cookie Doster, refuah shlema. Baby Ella Rose, refuah shlema. Sheila Bergman, refuah shlema. Joel Lubar, refuah shlema. Aviva Kavagan, refuah shlema. Marsha Wairobi, refuah shlema. Judy Honig, refuah shlema. Jeffrey Stern, refuah shlema. Adele Greenblatt, refuah shlema. Rachel Spearer, refuah shlema. Lenore Cohen, refuah shlema. Other names?
Jerry Besson.
Refuah shlema.
Pam,
Yes.
Pam Thomas.
Refuah shlema. All right. Let's read together the English paragraph on the top left of 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. Page 34. Yishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולטובה. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise, bottom of the page, half Kaddish, It Gadal, ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. יאמר דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחיי יומי חול, וחיי דכל בית ישראל. Agala, Agala, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, מעולם לעולמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, יתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילה, בין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונאמתה, תנירן בעלמא, יאמרו אמן. The Amidah, 35b to 38, after which you may be seated. If you haven't finished the Amidah, please continue. Otherwise, I'm on page 47, the bottom paragraph, which is transliterated at the bottom. Avot b'dvoro, v'chayei metim b'mamaro, Oel hakadosh she'en kamohu, ameniach li'amo. Yom Shabbat Kodsho, Ivam Ratza Lihaniach Lahem, Ivam Ratza Lihaniach Lahem, Lifanav Navod B'yiraf Afachat, V'nodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid, Ein HaBrachot. El Ahodot Adon Hashalom V'kadesh HaShabbat Umvorech Shevi Umeniach B'kedusha Le'avedu Shnei Oneg Zecher L'maaseh, l'maaseh v'reishit, zecher, l'maaseh v'reishit. 48, the full Kaddish. Yitkara v'yikara shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yilmad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yimechon, uv'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, hagalav v'zman kariv, yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, li'olam li'omei olmaya, yivorach. Yiporach v'yishavach v'yipoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalol shmei l'kudusha v'yiru v'yilam imkol brechata v'shirata tushbata v'nechamata damiron v'yalma v'yimru Amen. Titkabal tzlaton uvoton d'chol Yisrael k'damagon v'shmaya v'yimru Amen. Yehi shalom arabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Say shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, imru amen. The Shabbat Kiddush, please rise as the ladies distribute the wine, or the juice, I think it's juice. Oh, good. This is an amazing becher. This just seems to come and go.
Wine.
No, that's very sweet, thank you.
Juice.
This is a bar mitzvah boy over here,
Juice.
right, reading the Torah. He's got some books as big as he is.
Made in Japan.
Then there's,
Probably.
what, this? Oh, this is,
You can't turn it over and look at it right now.
and it's got these mushroom-like dwellings in Jerusalem.
Wine.
And what they were supposed to engrave the kid's name, but they didn't.
Which one?
Wine.
Okay, thank you.
Juice. Wine. Okay. We're good. Juice.
Juice, is there no juice like that one?
This juice.
This
Oh,
juice,
that's juice, I could.
Yeah.
This is juice?
we
Awesome, thank you.
counted.
You know who the drunks are?
Can you still get Malaga? Remember Shapiro's Malaga, the wine you can almost cut with a knife? It's great, it would rot your teeth at 30 paces.
Kedem is even worse.
Oh,
This is Spanish Shabbos.
it's got cream white Concord. What is cream?
Kedem made a honey wine.
Oh, it's med.
It would curl your teeth.
Oh. Now my bubby made a honey
Lipschitz
wine.
of New York.
Who, Lifshitz?
I was the only one brave enough to drink it and know.
Oh, what about that?
Now we know.
Okay. Savrim Ornan Rabbanan Rabbatai, Baruch HaToranai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei Pri Hagafen, Amen. Baruch HaToranai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Kiddushanu b'tzutav v'ratzavanu, Shabbat Kodsho B'Yavav Ratzon Inchilanu Zikaron L'Maaseh V'Reishit Hiyu Yom Tefila L'Mikra'ei Kodesh Zecher L'Yitziat Mitzrayim Kivanu Acharta Yotanu Kidashta Hikolavim Shabbat Kodshecha Yahava Uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai V'Kadesh HaShabbat Amen. L'chaim L'shalom Av Simchas. What's that?
I guess you get it.
What does it mean?
The same.
Oh.
Hungarian.
Yes.
I guess you get it.
Yes. Paul, did you know that?
What?
I guess you
Hashem,
get it.
Hashegera.
I knew that.
Oh, okay. It's Hungarian.
What?
It means, are you leaving the tip?
I guess you get it.
It means l'chaim.
Okay,
All right.
I don't know that. We never left
I
tips.
knew what your mom taught me.
I know, you were in the English-speaking part of Hungary.
Right.
Okay, page 51. Who's opening the ark? Stephen, could you open the ark, please?
Sure.
And thank you for your service.
You got two Steves.
Oh, the other Steve.
Come up
Steve,
to
come on,
the-
all the
Steves, all the Steves.
Don't
You
be
can do
coy.
this.
Are there any other Steves? Okay, thank you, Stephen.
I have a son, Steve.
Stephen is a vet, yes.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'tei gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoye haratzot v'lo samanu mishpachot ha'tama shelo sam elkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים יוסד הארץ ומשה ביקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים Hu Eloheinu Einod Eret Malkeinu Efesulato Kakatu V'Torato V'Adatayom Hashevota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Bimal Bi'aretz Bi'itachat Einod V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz V'yom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad U'shemo echad. All right, gentlemen, the curtain and then the wooden doors. We want to make Shechayanu for Stephen Halpern, who was lost and has come home again. We're glad to see him. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shechayanu v'kiyimanu v'hikiyanu l'zman ha'aseh. Amen. Okay.
Welcome back.
Yes. All right, the mourner's Kaddish. I'm asking everyone to remain standing in memory of those who made the supreme sacrifice. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yamad yivrach nirutei v'yamliach malchutei. Chayei chol v'yimei chol, chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalo v'zman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'le'el mayon. Yitborach v'yishtabach, yitbo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu. V'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran b'yalma v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yalko Yisrael, v'yalko Yishvei tevel v'yimru, Amen. Please be seated. A few well-chosen words from our wonderful topics.
Thank you, Rabbi. A good Shabbos to all of you. It's wonderful to be here with you. Stevie, it's wonderful to have you back. Other Stevie, it's wonderful to have you here too. And all of you at home, I understand there are 10 or 12 of you watching on Zoom tonight. So good Shabbos to each and every one of you. And come to temple. It's really nice to be together if you feel like it. I want to let you know that we're entering into our holiday season at Temple Shalom, and we have much to celebrate. We're going to be next week, tomorrow we're having our regular Shabbat service. After services, Rabbi's going to have his class.
Yeah, we're continuing our study of warfare, sadly, but we're also going to look into what the Romans called jus bello, that is the justified war.
Oh, it's a very timely subject, and you know our rabbi is brilliant, so his classes are wonderful. So you'll his wife's laughing a little bit, but never mind.
Rabbi,
but-
I believe.
Oh, and I believe that you, John.
But join us for services tomorrow, beginning at beginning at 9:30, and followed by a kiddush lunch tomorrow, and Rabbi's class following. This week, Rabbi usually has his classes on Wednesday at 4 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. This week, we won't have the class at 4, but the current events class at 7 will be going on Zoom as usual. The following weekend, we're going to have our blessing of the animals on Sunday the 19th at 11 a.m. Bring your pets. If you don't have a pet, come and see everybody else's pets and see who looks like their puppies. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So come. Hanukkah is coming along very quickly. We're going to have a Hanukkah party on Friday night, December 8th. It's a Shabbaton dinner catered by Diamond Caterers. You can call in to make your menu choice. Bring your menorah, bring 2 candles because it's the second night of Hanukkah. And we'll do a mass lighting of all our menorahs, have a lovely dinner together, and then we'll come together to be together for Saturday's services.
How much is the dinner?
The dinner will be $25.
Oh, wow.
It's very reasonable,
Top dog.
right? You're going to have your choice of roast chicken, sweet and sour meatballs, or dill salmon. So it's a lovely menu. It's very reasonable. We'll be giving you little cards. If you've chosen meatballs, it'll have a meatball on it, and you'll come and show the card because it's going to be a buffet, but you'll have the one choice that you've chosen. There'll be mixed vegetables. There'll be potato latkes. There'll be safganiyot. Well, we're just going to have a wonderful celebration together. So it's party time at Temple Shalom. So come and join us. I want to thank each and every one of you who contributed to the JAFCO project. It's wonderful. We have a lovely array of toys that are still coming in for the JAFCO children. Right now, all we need are teddy bears and Barbie dolls, and maybe a truck or a car. Otherwise, we have everything for the 15 children who are on the wish list that we got from JAFCO.
What's the deadline?
That we have to bring them in, have everything delivered to JAFCO on the 28th of November, because Hanukkah is so early this year. So thank all of you. We were very blessed with people bringing in the toys, which you can see in the lobby, as well as people donating money. And yesterday, Joni and I ordered $200 worth of toys to complete the wish list, so that these children who had to be removed from their homes, temporarily, hopefully, some of them not. So these children, our children, and now children of other faiths as well, will have a lovely Hanukkah. They don't have too much else. So it's really a blessing for.
Any orders for nail polish this year?
No orders for nail polish. You know the story last year, a little girl, 5 years old, asked for 1 bottle of pink nail polish, and we saw it on the list and we all started crying. So everybody brought nail polish, and she has the supply until she's 21 years old. So this year, unusually, I had never heard of this category of toys. We were asked on the wish list for sensory toys, and those are for children with autism or particular difficulties, and we were able to find those for them as well. It was really, it's always an education, but thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of all your temple families for being here with us, being home with us on Zoom. Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Rita. I recall when I was a kid, toys were almost universally made out of metal.
Yeah.
And I had a very lovely dump truck that was about this big, and every time I put the bed of the dump truck down, I caught my fingers. So it's
Yellow one?
great memories. It was green with a red cab.
Oh, my
Yes.
kids had the yellow one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, now it's all plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. All right, well, thank you so much, Rita. That was lovely, and I do look forward to Hanukkah. Hanukkah is my absolutely all-time favorite holiday. It may be yours as well. There's no fasting. There's no spending 24 hours in shul. It's just bring your candles and you're on your way. All right, let's do the Adon Olam, which I have conveniently lost. And I'm going to ask you, you don't have to rise for this, but I want to sing the Adon Olam to the tune of the Hatikva. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol Tzir Nivra, Li'ed Nasa V'Hefz HaKol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Yacharei kichlot hakol, levado yilov nora, v'hu haya, v'hu hoveh, hu yeh v'tivara. And now going back to the regular tune. V'hu echad v'ein sheni, lehamshilo, lehachbira, Bili Reshit, Bili Tachlit, Bilo Haos, Behamisra, Vehu Eli, Bechai Goali, Bitzur Chevli, Bietzara, Behu Nisi Umanosli, Minat Kosi, Biomekra, Biado, Afkid Ruchi, B'etishan, B'ayira, B'im Ruchi, Giviati, Adonai li, V'lo ira. Please rise for the closing benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. And Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. And Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And the Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.